in tennis, one that has been developing over about a year now. Flags of Russia and Belarus will be banned from this year's Wimbledon championships. While several players from the two countries have already signed personal declarations that will clear them to compete as neutrals, the All England club said on Tuesday, April 25th. Wimbledon announced last month that it had lifted its ban, which prevented athletes from the two countries playing last year's following Russia's invasion of Ukraine in February 2022. Speaking at the club's pre-tournament spring media conference, club chairman Ian Hewitt said the U-turn had been the hardest decision of his 4 years in the job. Wimbledon and the other British grass court tournaments stood alone in barring Russian and Belarusian players such as former world number one Daniil Medvedev and Victoria Azarenka last year. The decision resulted in ranking points being stripped from the events and the Lawn Tennis Association being hit with huge fines by the ATP and WTA. To compete this year, Russian and Belarusian players must agree to compete as neutrals, not to make statements supporting the war or the regimes involved, and not to receive funding from either nation or state-supported businesses. John, I just want to get your opinion quickly about this U-turn. As much as they want to stand against the war in Ukraine, Wimbledon have effectively backed down. They might have added a caveat to save face, but this is them backing down.
Yeah, for me, this is just politics mixing with sports. Yeah, I like the idea of still allowing these athletes to compete, even though they have to compete as neutrals at the event. But it's still a wonderful development for me because I'm one of the few people that believe that yes, I understand that this is a political issue, but it shouldn't affect the sport athletes who have nothing to do with what is going on in their country, in their respective countries. I mean, it's not the sport athletes that took the decision regarding the war in Ukraine and all that. It's a political issue. So I'm of the opinion that we should
Yeah,
separate politics
but
from
John,
sport.
but John,
It's a welcome development. Yeah.
unfortunately, sports doesn't happen in a vacuum, and the opportunity for these athletes to compete in international competitions worldwide can have a boon effect. It can have an effect of boosting morale back home in Russia, which is the last thing anyone outside of Russia wants. It would be best if the soldiers and the administrators, the politicians, felt their morale drop because of the criticism from the rest of the world, and perhaps that could lead to the end of the war. At the same time, these athletes winning these competitions, their prize monies could be commandeered to fund the war by Vladimir Putin. They would have to pay Russian tax if they were back home. All of that could go into the money that funds the war and continues to allow Russia to kill Ukrainians, both civilians and military personnel in Ukraine. So obviously, it's yes, I understand wanting to keep sports out, politics out of sports, but sports doesn't happen in a vacuum, and it does have effects far-reaching, far more consequential, even on a war.
Yes, you are very correct, 110%. But you need to cut these athletes some slack. I mean, yeah, you understand what is going back home, but does that mean they have to put their whole career on hold because of their country made a bad political decision? I don't think it's fair. I think the decision taken by allowing them to compete, even though as neutral, is a welcome development because as well, these are athletes that have been training for this event all their lives. So do you take this moment away from them simply because of a political issue that is beyond their control? So I understand the angles you're coming from on how it could boost the morale of the fighters at home. But I mean, they also have to look at the human factor too as well. These athletes, yeah, they may not be in support of what is going on in Russia and in Ukraine. But also, you need to understand that these are athletes that have been training for this event for a long time, even before the war started. So, I mean, they put in their time, energy, and they put in everything into participating in these events. So I think it would be unfair and very harsh if they were denied the opportunity to compete on a
All right.
level playing ground.
All right, John Enuwah, thank you so much for joining us on the show.
Thank you very much.
Have a good evening.